Gentlemen, you're at a fork in the road. Like it or not, accept it or not, you have a decision to make. You can either roll over and let time and self-neglect beat you into the ground, or you can fight to become the man you were always meant to be. The crazy part is, most of us think that if we ignore this fork in the road long enough, it magically turns into a straight, happy line. It won't. When it comes to how you're going to live your last decades, not making a choice is the choice. If you don't actively, purposefully choose to grow as a man into your 50s, 60s, and beyond, you are surely defaulting to the choice of dying. Slowly and quietly at first, until the ground rushes up at you and your crash is messy and unavoidable. Aging isn't the problem. Daily neglect is. Decline and debility are not your fate. They happen when you stop moving, stop learning, and stop living with intention and strong purpose. 80% of chronic disease is preventable with smart daily choices. Not 50, not 60, 80. 80%. Your choice to grow or die, as shown in your daily actions, put you on the path of being strong and sharp or weak and broken. It's your choice. I'm Ken Kowalsky, physical therapist, wrestling coach, husband, and dad of 4. For 30 years, I've watched men over 50 fade into sickness and death way before their time, and I'm tired of it. I wrote Grow or Die and built Second 50 Strong to prove your second 50 years can be your best years ever. I'm in my 50s and living this journey right now. And if you refuse to fade and want more strength, purpose, and masculine edge to dominate your 60s, 70s, and beyond, this is for you. Let's be honest. Most men hit their 50s and start living like an unplugged appliance, right? They think sitting more is rest they deserve. Eating whatever they want is their reward. And slowing down in purpose is something they've earned. Meanwhile, their bodies are screaming at them, "Whoa, brother, you're making me die early." A car left undriven eventually won't start. A boat left unattended will eventually sink. And a fast food hamburger left out for an entire year? Well, that'll still look exactly like a fast food hamburger. So, bad example, but you're getting my point. So here's your new mantra, right? I am not a fast food hamburger. You may laugh, but saying that in the mirror every morning might just keep you on the track of growing instead of dying. Gentlemen, the enemy isn't time, it isn't genetics, and it isn't bad luck. The real enemy here is you being guided by society not to live the last decades of your life as a strong man. Men have different requirements for staying sharp, strong, and healthy as they age than women do. We can't do what they're doing and be strong and healthy in our later years. If we follow their lead into our second 50, they thrive and we'll die. This is happening everywhere. If we do what our current normal society tells us to do as men, which is basically nothing, the slow glide into dying starts. Oh, don't eat too much, and yeah, you should get some regular exercise. That's the crap we hear from our experts, and when we follow it, we fail miserably. To cover up this complete failure of helping the aging male, doctors tell us, oh, our decline is just normal. It's a part of aging. Society sells the lie, doctors reinforce it, and then we live that lie at our own peril. At 30 plus years as a physical therapist, I can tell you now with absolute certainty what you need to do as an aging male to dominate your second 50 years. You ready? It's exactly the same thing you should be doing to dominate your first 50 years. Nothing has changed. The problem here is that we're being told to stop doing it now. But the great news is this. Now, in your second 50 years, you can make the work to dominate your life be smarter, more focused, and more meaningful. Here's the truth from decades of treating older men. Our bodies are living, breathing machines. And just like any other machines, it needs to be, 1, used as it's designed to function properly. And I can tell you right now, brother, your body is designed to move like a Ferrari, not a horse and buggy. 2, to be given the proper fuel to run correctly. Sugar and carbohydrates are destroying your engine like putting diesel in an unleaded car. And 3, serviced and maintained to keep it in tip-top shape. You change the oil in your car because you know it's way better to avoid engine problems than it is to fix them. So what do? Find professionals that help you stay healthy, not just manage your sickness. The men who fall apart, they don't get unlucky. They neglected themselves for decades. The ones who stay strong into their 70s and 80s, they aren't superheroes. They just followed these 3 simple guidelines. That's it. They keep learning, keep training, and feeding themselves correctly, and keep a meaningful purpose that they work towards. They age with power because they never stopped investing in their body, mind, and masculinity. Throughout my physical therapy career, I've met men like this. I would ask them how they built such an incredible second 50 years, and then I would zip my lips, watch, listen, and learn. The information I've gathered over decades from these amazing men who thrived in their 60s and 70s and beyond is the foundation of all the information I'm sharing with you here. All right, quick story. I once treated the wife of a retired doctor who was in his 90s. The husband, this guy, I'm telling you, he commanded respect with every word he said and every step he took. Being only a handful of years away from 100, he wasn't feeble, fragile, or emasculated. He was larger than life. His presence turned heads. I remember having the strong feeling of always wanting to impress this guy and have him somehow approve of me. I actually got a little nervous before I saw him. And he wasn't an accident. He built that strength and dignity through the daily choices he made. He made the decision to grow instead of die, and then took action on it, and it showed in everything about him. This man worked out daily, ate a certain way, and was still learning new things and gaining new skills. And here is the best part of all, my friend. His wife, she adored him. The way she looked at him with such admiration, pride, and respect, I can still picture it in my mind right now. And this was many, many years ago. He was the leader of the house, and she was gladly, happily following him all the way to the end. It absolutely floored me when I first saw how she looked at him, because the look on most women's faces when they look at their declining husband is exactly the opposite of that. Brother, I'm telling you now, if you do what your woman is doing later in life, she will outperform you, overpower you, and then outlive you. You spend your days like she does in your second 50, and you're going to crash and burn while she thrives and turns into your second mom, instead of being your lover. You might be experiencing some of that second mom thing right now. Guys, I can't count how many older men I've seen who have completely surrendered their power to their wives and are now treated like children. It absolutely pisses me off. All right, story inside a story. I once had a guy who I had on the phone and wanted to schedule his appointment. And he told me I needed to call back and talk with his wife. And I was like, yeah, but we're on the phone together right now, so let's just schedule something. And he said, no, you need to talk to my wife. She handles all of this stuff. And I was thinking, dude, you don't even own your own day? His wife was literally in charge of his life calendar and decided for him what was okay and not okay to happen. Now, you may think this is extreme, but I promise you, I see this almost every day. And here are some action steps to take today. Tonight, before you go to bed, look in the mirror and realize that you are at a fork in the road. Say it out loud to yourself. Do that every morning and night for the rest of the week, and tell yourself you have a decision to make. If you choose to die, you're in for a bumpy ride that will end in regret, but don't worry, this misery has a lot of company. You won't be alone. But if you choose to grow, commit to the one action step that builds you up into a bigger, better, stronger man. Make it something small right now and commit to it so that you can't talk yourself out of it later. Things like identify 2 of the most sugary foods you're eating and remove them from your life immediately. Start strength training with some push-ups and sit-ups today, and then make a plan for long-term strength growth. Quit the 1 or 2 activities that keep you sitting the most. And get a book and learn about something new that interests you and start on a new skill. And here's your challenge. Ask yourself right now, what is my life teaching the younger men around me? If they watched me today And they are. Would they see a man aging with power and importance? Or would they see a man getting weaker and invisible? Here is a choice you don't get to make. Like it or not, you are an example of what an older man can become to our younger males. They are learning from your example. What message are you going to pass along to them? Will you show our younger men to be excited about getting older? Or that they're just doomed into a life of frailty and insignificance? Look, we're both going to die. That's certain. But how you live before that final day, that statement you make, is entirely your decision. And you're at that fork in the road. Brother, if you're ready to build the last decades of your life instead of watching them decline, subscribe here and stay with me because we are free training forward with the second 50 Strong missions. And if you want the solid why and how to grow into your second 50 years as a man, you can check out my book, Grow or Die, on Amazon. You'll be surprised at what you find in there. You can also check out my blogs and free crash course on strength training at second50strong.com if you want. Gentlemen, time will win in the end. But there are some major decisions you get to make on how you're going to live before that end plays out. You can painfully glide into weakness, powerlessness, and invisibility, or you can age with dignity, strength, and purpose. You're standing in front of that fork in the road right now to grow or die. And you must make that choice. If you don't, life will make it for you, and the results will be cruel. Look inside yourself right now and ask, what are you going to do? And always remember, most men fade, but you're not most men.